Look, I didn't turn him down because I don't like him or I don't believe in this case. I think he's got a very defensible case. Diddy's courtroom saga just went left. One of his own lawyers just quit right there in the middle of the case after some wild audio got played in court. But here's the craziest part. This isn't the first time one of Diddy's top lawyers already dipped before the trial even kicked off. Something about this case got even the best in the game running for the hills. In this video, we're breaking down why Diddy's lawyer really walked out, what was in that audio that got everybody shook, and how this might blow up everything Diddy's been trying to hide. Let's get right into it. The shocking resignation. In a move that had everybody and their mama caught off guard, one of Diddy's high-profile defense attorneys, Anthony Rico, straight up bounced from the case just 3 months before the trial was supposed to pop off. The timing couldn't be more sus, with Diddy facing some heavy charges including sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. If the music mogul catches an L on this one, he could be looking at spending the rest of his life behind bars. But before we dive into the 411 on Rico's wild exit, let's break down who this Anthony Rico cat is and why him dipping out is such a big deal. Anthony Rico ain't your average ambulance chaser. This dude is a straight-up legal beast with a resume that would make most attorneys green with envy. Rico has worked on cases related to the World Trade Center bombing conspiracy and the 1998 embassy bombings. His bio on the Fordham Law University website shows he's been handling his business, noting that he served as lead defense counsel in up to 45 federal death penalty cases. On top of his courtroom grind, Rico also teaches at Fordham and has been practicing law since way back in 1982. With his deep experience in high-stakes federal cases, Rico was like the secret weapon in Diddy's defense squad. He linked up with the team shortly after Diddy got locked up in September 2024, rolling in alongside another heavyweight attorney, Alexander Shapiro. Shapiro had previously represented Sam Bankman-Fried, who, funny enough, was Diddy's neighbor in the detention center. These additions made Diddy's already stacked team, led by Mark Agnello and Tenny Gallegos, even more formidable. But then, on February 21, 2025, just a few months before Diddy was supposed to have his day in court in May, Rico dropped a bombshell and led a motion to bounce from the case. The way he worded it was mad cryptic but straight alarming. Check what he wrote. For the reasons set forth below, this motion for withdrawal is filed so that Sean Combs may move forward with his defense and to commence jury selection and trial without any delay. While the exact reason for Rico's exit is still on the low due to attorney-client privilege, the timing of his resignation and the way he worded his statement got everyone's imagination running wild. Some legal heads suggested there might have been beef about defense strategy, while others wondered if some new evidence had popped up that created an ethical no-go for Rico. Former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani broke it down in an interview with Law and Crime.
It is significant, and it's tough to know the reason why. It could be any number of possibilities. Sometimes it's when the lawyer hasn't been paid, but we know obviously Diddy doesn't have that problem. He's got plenty of money. It could be a disagreement regarding defense strategy. It could be a conflict. It could be a health issue. It really could be anything, and the paperwork doesn't identify it, nor should it.
What makes this whole situation even more confusing is that Rico seemed to be all in on Diddy's defense right up until he bounced. People who were in the courtroom said Rico would be kicking it with Diddy, passing notes during hearings and even giving the music mogul hugs. He regularly made sure the judge knew that Diddy's family had traveled mad far to New York for his hearing, which suggested he was personally invested in the case. When asked about what might have caused Rico to dip, Rahmani offered several possibilities.
Potentially, it could be a conflict with the client, right? A disagreement. They just don't get along. The communication is poor. They don't agree on defense strategy. It could be a conflict with one of the other lawyers. Obviously, it seems like Agnifilo is the lead on this case, although Rico was certainly his 1B. And then it could be a conflict with one of the victims themselves. Maybe maybe Rico consulted with them or even represented them in such a way that he has to get off the case.
Even with Rico ghosting, Diddy's legal squad was still deep, with 5 attorneys holding him down: Mark Agnello, Tenny Gallegos, Alexander Shapiro, Jason Adriscal, and Anna Estow. According to Rico's paperwork, his exit wouldn't delay the case, and the government wasn't tripping about his motion to withdraw. Since Rico had already chopped it up with Mark Agnello before filing the motion, everyone expected the judge would probably just sign off on his request to bounce. But the timing of Rico's exit raised mad questions, especially since it came just days after Diddy's defense team tried to get one of the charges against him thrown out. The charge they were trying to beat was transportation to engage in prostitution, which is the third count in his indictment. Diddy's lawyers claimed this charge should get tossed because it comes from a racist law, saying no white person has ever caught this kind of heat. The charge falls under the Mann Act, which Congress originally called the White Slave Traffic Act. This law makes it illegal to transport people across state or international lines for prostitution purposes. Diddy's defense squad argued that the law has a history of...
Those are very difficult motions to win, so it's essentially a selective prosecution motion. And the example I always like to give is, let's say you're speeding and a police officer pulls you over. It's not a legal defense to say, well, all these other people were speeding, but you didn't pull them over and ticket them. You have to show that the prosecution is for a constitutionally prohibited reason, obviously race being one of them.
As we dig deeper into this case, you've got to wonder what could have been so serious that it made Anthony Rico, a veteran attorney with decades of experience in high-profile cases, suddenly say, "I'm out," when it came to representing one of the biggest ballers in the music game. Did it have anything to do with some audio that supposedly got played in court? The mystery of the audio evidence, while everybody was busy speculating about why Anthony Rico suddenly dipped from Diddy's defense team, rumors started spreading like wildfire about some connection between his exit and an audio recording supposedly played in court. The most damning audiovisual evidence in the case, that 2016 surveillance video showing Combs laying hands on his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a Los Angeles hotel, wasn't even played in court until May 2025, months after Rico had already dipped. This video, which included audio of Cassie calling security, reportedly had the whole courtroom silent when it finally got shown during the trial. But this presentation happened long after Rico had already said, "Peace out." Rico joined Diddy's defense squad in September 2024, shortly after Diddy got locked up on federal charges. For about 5 months, he was grinding alongside other attorneys to prepare for the upcoming trial. During this time, several major developments went down in the case, including pretrial hearings and talks about evidence. On October 10, 2024, Judge Arun Subramanian set May 5, 2025 as the trial date and addressed concerns about leaks by federal agents. Later on December 18, 2024, there was a quick hearing where prosecutors discussed evidence disclosure, but nobody mentioned any audio evidence. Then, on February 3, 2025, Diddy was supposed to show up in court, but the hearing got pushed back because he reportedly had to go to the hospital. Just a few weeks later, on February 21, 2025, Rico led his motion to dip. The timing is interesting because it came shortly after Diddy's defense team had led that motion to toss the Mann Act charge, claiming racial bias. Some legal heads wondered if there might have been beef within the defense team about this strategy. Legal expert Joe Tacopina, who turned down the chance to represent Diddy himself, shared his thoughts on the case.
You know, look, I didn't turn him down because I don't like him or I don't believe in his case. I think he's got a very defensible case.
Tacopina's comments highlight what would become the central strategy of Diddy's defense squad, arguing that everything was consensual and that the accusers might be trying to secure the bag. This seems to be the approach that Diddy's remaining attorneys ran with during the trial that started in May 2025. When asked why he passed on the case, Tacopina blamed scheduling conflicts rather than doubts about Diddy's innocence.
To me, this whole case boils down to an issue of consent, right? And as far as I know, I don't know all the evidence, but it's an issue of consent, right? Did they consent or did they not? I mean, was a gun put to someone's head, or did they want to do it because they were getting all the perks associated with being part of a Diddy party and being one of Diddy's entourage, right? Did he buy him a house or cars and stuff? He didn't have to buy anyone a car or a house.
Interestingly, Tacopina also addressed rumors that his relationship with Jay-Z and Roc Nation influenced his decision not to take the case.
So my turning it down was because I had Rocky's trial coming up, you know, and a host of other things. So it's not about, I don't think he's innocent or I don't like him or anything like that. It's not that at all. It was just timing for me. It really was more about timing than anything.